The culebra to me, um, anytime I think of it, it's kind of like home. My name is Christian Santistevan. I'm a native to San Luis, fourth generation farmer and rancher here. Our family owns some property in Cañón de Chama, so it's right at the base of the Sangre de Cristos. We have a small ranch with a few cattle and a little bit of grass hay. I work for the part-time with the Conservancy District here and also with Adams State. I've done a little bit of everything, I guess you could say. I am involved in a few boards, the Sangre de Cristo Acequia Association, as well as the Costilla County Farm Bureau. So the Acequia Association is a nonprofit board that serves over 73 acequias across the state of Colorado. We mostly kind of are based in Costilla and Conejos County. They offer a few things such as advocacy, appropriation, and legal counsel for acequias around the area. I know we're planning on developing our capacity further as much as we can, especially with getting more acequias incorporated in different counties. So the acequias are century-old ditches that have been used for generations and generations. A lot of people use them every single day. I know they're a big part of life, especially in the smaller villages that surround the town of San Luis, including Chama, San Francisco, San Acacio. A lot of people that grow hay or any kind of crops use an acequia, and it uses traditional flood irrigating. We're actually home to the oldest acequia system in the state of Colorado, which is the San Luis People's Ditch. It is the oldest and first priority water right in the state of Colorado, which is kind of cool to say. So yeah, they're a big part of our everyday lives. So each paciente, they are the ones that use the water on that ditch. They all take part in helping maintain the ditch, make sure it's clean, make sure everybody gets their share. The mayordomo is kind of the person in charge, so they have to make sure all the water is dispersed based on the amount of water that's in the ditch. People get to use it for a certain amount of days. Whether that depends, you water your whole field or you just get part of your field done. That's a big role of the mayordomo, making sure everybody is included. Acequias are communal waterways. I mean, everybody uses them. So we kind of have to stress the use of, you get it for one day, that's all you can get it for, and the next person has to use it in the same ways. I think we just have to continue to share the water and be wise about how we're using it. In my own words, I would define climate change as the change in temperature, increasing temperatures, weather patterns that have happened over time. I know a lot of people see it indirectly, but I mean, the people who grow food around here and use water to grow their crops definitely see the effects of higher temperatures and more evaporation. So it's a very real, touchy subject. I know it's a hard subject to talk about, being that a lot of people don't experience it directly, but it's something that needs to be stressed, especially for those people that provide food and fiber for a lot of places around here. From my experience, I feel like climate change isn't taken as seriously as it should be. I know when I first started hearing about it, it was more of a conspiracy theory and people were trying to discredit it, but it's very real. And like I said, if you use water as a part of your daily life, I mean, you can see that the quality of moisture as well as how much we're getting hasn't been the same in previous years as it is now. One of the stressors I think that impacts the acequias the most is the rise in temperature as well as evaporation. We rely a lot on the snowpack that accumulates in the Sangre de Cristos, and we realize that we're not getting as much water as we used to, or that the water is not coming down at the right time that we do need it. One thing that we've done, especially on our family's property and my uncle's property, is try to be more wise using the water. I know, I mean, back in the day, you'd get the water and use it as long as you could, 2-3 times out of the irrigation season. But lately, I think last year we only got to water the field once, which it's sad, but it was more than enough. We try to just use the water to grow crops for our cattle that we have, and as long as it's enough to make sure we have enough feed for the cattle over the winter, we're trying just to make sure that stays going in the future. A lot of the people here that grew up on acequias are just used to the way they've done things forever, and I mean, flood irrigation isn't the most efficient practice, and that's usually the way people are used to irrigating. And I think now over time they're seeing that with the less water, it's not going as far as it used to. So it's really impacting the way people are watering their fields and the yield that they're getting, and also how they're planning for the future. So I know a few people are transitioning to different crops, trying different stuff. I know a big thing now that a few people are a part of are just improving their soil. Soil health has a lot to do with water absorption and retention. A lot of community members, not only here but in the neighboring county of Conejos, a lot of people are taking part in the soil health program, which has opened the eyes, I guess, of a lot of older generations. It's practicing the 5 soil health principles and improving the way the water is entering your soil and providing your plants with the necessary nutrients it needs. So that's one step in the right direction. It's a lot of trial and error. I mean, I grew up on a small farm, and I've also worked on a larger commercial farm in San Nicasio, and so I think just finding what's right for your farm, I think, is the best way to go about it. I mean, like I say, it's two different worlds, working on a larger scale farm versus a smaller farm, and the types of crops you grow. So yeah, I think it's all a learning process. What gives me hope is the newer generations, I think up and coming generations that have seen what has happened in the past, and as many people know, older generations are a little hard to convince to try new things and implement new technology that's coming along. And I think the newer generations that are taking over, they're more willing to try new things out, implement different things on the farm, and also just the overall education. I think it's very important. I know having like the soil health program come into the valley and to other communities is a big help, just because a lot of people aren't aware. So I think education and newer generations are what's going to do a lot of good in the future.